someone listening, let's say $100,000 in retirement, how much do they need to have saved before they stop working? We always hear about $1 million, $2 million.
Well, there's no one size fits all. I've tried wearing that stuff. It never fits me. You know, it's never a perfect
Mm-hmm.
fit. So one size doesn't fit all for retirement either. So there's so many variables to how much you need to retire. Kristen, we met with families who hadn't saved much, but they had great income.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't need really to live off of any of their investments.
Mm-hmm.
They had enough income to sustain them the rest of their retirement from pensions and Social Security and rental income and other sources that they had coming in. They really didn't need the money they'd saved. So they were especially unhappy when they were told they had to take money out.
No, but for someone listening, like Kristen's question here is if you need $100,000 for retirement,
Okay.
let's look at what that looks like for a family. So if maybe you've got Social Security maxed out and you're getting $30,000 to maybe $40,000 of income from your guaranteed income, your Social Security, which most people have, unless you work for the state, maybe you have an offset there, but for the most part, our families have maxed out their Social Security.
Right.
Now you're looking at your savings to supply the gap, right? We talk about the gap all the time. So you're looking at $60,000 to $70,000 you need to generate from the nest egg you have built.
Right.
What kind of nest egg does that look like?
Well, that's true. And so you can go about it in a couple of ways. So let's say you do need $60,000 to maintain your lifestyle on top of Social Security. Well, you could do it Wall Street's way. Wall Street says, well, let's put a portion of it in stocks, a portion of it in bonds, and pull out 4%. Now, that's not a guaranteed income stream, but it's one that they believe will last as long as you do. So that would require $1.5 million into your income plan to maintain $60,000 a year for your lifetime. Now, if you've only saved $1.5 million, and I say only, that's a nice nest egg, but that means that you would have nothing left for discretion. You'd have to tie all of it up for income. So if you needed to spend $50,000 or $100,000 out, that means you would need to start reducing your income. So that's one way to go about it. Wall Street's way. There's a couple of problems I have with Wall Street's way. If we have a big market crash like 2008, and I know that's been a long time ago, but for those who went through it in the midst of their prime earning years, they still remember it. I still have people coming in talking about it. But if you saved $1 million and all of a sudden it went down within a year or two to $600,000, how much confidence would you have to stay the course and keep taking $60,000 a year out of that? And is that even sustainable? Or if you say $1.5 million and it's down to a million, do all of a sudden you still feel as confident as you did when you first retired? So those are things, that emotional strain that the stock market can have on income. So that's why after 33 years of working with retirees, we really believe in a fundamental principle of protecting what you need for income and then taking risk and growing the rest.
Okay.
To me, that just makes sense.
Well, I mean, if you have the money in the market that you need to provide income from, right?
Mhm.
So you have, let's
Right.
say, the full $1.5 million in the market. If the market drops, 4% of a lower amount is a lower amount of income.
Right.
So hypothetically, if you're taking your income from the market and your account ever drops below that 1.5 magic number that gave you the 4%, the $60,000 you need to take less than $60,000. That's just simple math, right? Who wants a fluctuating income? I know I didn't want it in my working years, right?
No.
if I go to do payroll and I decide, oh, this month I have to take less income, I have to change my payroll amount, I'm not going to be very happy, right? And that's what you're expecting a retiree to do when you're asking them to take their income from the market.
That's exactly right. And so what I say to that is, let's protect that. Now, one of the great benefits of protecting it with an income annuity is that it tends to use less money. I'm thinking of a couple that we started working with several months ago. They had just under $2 million saved. After a year, we had to generate $100,000 of extra income in addition to Social Security and other incomes that they had. So that required $1.2 million to guarantee that income as long as either of them lived, and they were in their 60s. So that protected income, $100,000 for as long as either of them lived. Wall Street would say, in order to get $100,000, they would need
$2.5 million.
$2.5 million.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have $2.5 million. So the broker was arguing, well, look, in the last few years, we've gotten you, 10, 12% a year. If you can make 10, 12% a year on your money, you can easily take 100,000 out. I said, okay, have the broker put in writing that you'll never lose money, that you'll never lose your income. Can't do it. They can't do it. But we can put in writing within an annuity contract that's guaranteed by the A-rated or better company,
based on the claims payability
exactly,
of the insurance
that
company.
income is never going to run out. So those are things that you can do. All of a sudden you do the math and you say, okay, I can use less money to accomplish my income goal. You also need to understand this, that when you're doing an income plan, it's more than, so if you need to live on 100,000, you need to generate more than 100,000 so that you can net what it is you need. The net versus the gross, right?
I used to always say it's gross. When I was in accounting 101 in college, you know how I figured out how to keep those straight?
How do you keep it straight?
It's gross how much your net is.
It is gross how much your net is. Taxes matter. They really do. So, I think the better question is not how much do I need to be able to retire with $100, but how will I create $100,000 per year of reliable, dependable, tax-efficient income for the rest of my life? And if you want to know the answer to that question, we're here to help.